Hey guys, it's Karen and I'm here to talk about this. This is the Hada Labo Lotion Anti-Aging Super Hydrator. So remember, there is one like this that comes in a white bottle and there's this one that comes in the red bottle. The white one I've got as well and I use that and love it. But this one is recommended for you if you're over, it's 30 something. It's something random like 31 or 32. This one is the one that people believe has retinol in it. As did I when I bought it, and that's why I bought it. I used it a couple of times and was really surprised that my skin wasn't reacting. You may remember this. However, I can see now why it wasn't reacting, because it's not got retinol in it. Somebody actually said to me, oh, isn't it retinol palmitate in this? And I was like, is it? So I've checked the ingredients and I'm astounded that I missed it. I think it's one of those things where I got caught up in the hype over this and assumed it was retinol and didn't check, which is very unlike me. Certainly if I'd gone to a shop and bought it, I would have checked the ingredients. And normally online I'll check the ingredients as well, but I don't know what happened here. It's definitely retinol palmitate. I think as well, when you read their description, because I got it on Amazon, retinol is used a lot throughout the description because they're saying it's a retinol and collagen type product, or it's a retinol type product, you know, but when you actually look at the ingredients, you realize it's not retinol at all. There's no retinol in this. It's retinol palmitate. Retinol palmitate is something I've spoken about in the A313 video. So I will link that for you, because I've talked about the fact that there is some research that shows that retinol palmitate, when used on your skin in UV light, when used on animal skin in UV light, forms tumours. And there's a lot of controversy about that because, for example, Paula from Paula's Choice said, well, that research is 20 years old. It's never been translated into humans. But as I said in that video, she's quite right, because, you know, having worked myself in medical research, I know that we would take on a lot of studies that had previously been done in animals to prove that it then worked in humans, and it doesn't always translate. So just because that's happened in animals doesn't mean it's going to happen in humans. But the research hasn't been done, so it doesn't mean that it doesn't translate, if that makes sense. The exact same thing could happen in humans. Nobody has tested. So for me, with retinol palmitate, the evidence that is there shows that it forms tumours in animals, and there's nothing more. So I'm happy to try and avoid it if possible, especially since there is no evidence that shows that it works for anti-aging. You know, it's thought to potentially help. There is some evidence to show that it potentially helps with sunscreen, but this isn't a sunscreen, this is hyaluronic acid. And like I said, there's nothing really that says that it does anything for aging. So there's no real reason for me to use something with retinol palmitate in it. I would prefer to avoid it, especially if I'm using it in the day. If you're using it at night, I would say it doesn't really matter, because the studies that I'm talking about, it was definitely in UV light. So it's during the daytime, not during the night. And I don't want people to think I'm bashing this company, because I'm not at all. I know that this is a marketing tool, that they call it retinol. A lot of companies are doing that, you know, saying things that make you think it's a particular product. And it is a retinol type. It's a retinol derivative, but it is not retinol. This will need to be, retinol palmitate will need to be converted to retinol in the skin. And so it will be much less effective, even if it was, you know, a proven anti-aging ingredient. I still like the hyaluronic acid. I might well use this at night just because of the hyaluronic acid. You know, I like it as a serum. I won't be using this as my retinol product. I would just pretty much ignore that part of it. You know, the good thing about retinol palmitate, if you can say that, is that it won't irritate your skin, or it's very unlikely to irritate your skin. But the reason is because it's a weak alternative. It's not retinol. So I think that's everything I wanted to tell you on this. Like I said, I do like it as a hyaluronic acid, but I really wanted other people to know, because if somebody like me, who's normally so vigilant about ingredients, can miss it, then a lot of you guys might be using this thinking you're using retinol. If you do want to use actual retinol, I would of course recommend going to The Ordinary. They do 3 different strengths in squalane. I'm not talking about their Gran Active Retinoid. I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend using their retinol. So you can get a 0.5%, you can get a 1%, and you can even get a 0.2%. So I'll link those for you in case you're interested. So I hope that was informative for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.